Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. My name is Similliant and today I am bringing you a folk Victorian cottage. So before I get into the build, I just want to take a moment to talk about my upload schedule. I know it's been a couple weeks since I've released a video and I apologize about that, but I can't promise you guys that I'll be able to do one video every week. with my work schedule and with life just in general, sometimes I just don't have the time to do that. It might take me a couple weeks to get a video out. It might take me 10 days. It really just depends on what my workload is that week. And these past couple weeks have just been, I've had a lot to do. So I haven't even been able to finish the build, let alone put the video together and record the commentary and screenshots and music and all that stuff. So sometimes it's just not going to happen every week. And I know that other YouTube channels are much more diligent about getting a video out every week or even every day, which to me, oh my goodness, I don't think I could even commit to that at all, at least yet. But so I definitely applaud those YouTubers who are doing that. But for me, my goal is to just try to get a video out every week or every couple of weeks. And I'm okay with that. Sometimes, like I said, life just happens and it doesn't work out that way. So yeah. Anyway, getting into the build, this was inspired by a book that I got from a book sale a couple weeks ago. The book sale is actually really cool. It's for a great cause. Basically, people donate books to this organization, and then this organization has a book sale, and all of the money that they raise goes towards the organization. So it's for a good cause. It's a very important cause. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's Planned Parenthood. They do this every year. And they've been doing this every year for like 50 years. It's really cool. It's really fun. I've even volunteered at the event before just because, like I said, it's a really good cause. So, because all of the books are donated, you never know what you're going to get. They have them like categorized by, I don't know, social sciences or mystery novels and all of that stuff. So I was lucky that I found a couple on architecture. And I just want to make this quick note. I am no expert on architecture. The only reason I'm even remotely interested is because of The Sims and because I like building. So I will on occasion kind of look up different kinds of architecture and just briefly research about it. I'm definitely not spending hours reading up on the history of it, which I would like to, don't get me wrong. But going back to what I was saying before, I just don't have enough time to do all of these things in my life. So yeah, I'm no expert, but I do like to follow, I don't know, I guess guidelines when I'm building, if I'm building a particular style of home. So one of the books that I picked up at this book sale, it's called Victorian Dream Homes, 160 Victorian and farmhouse plans from 3 master designers. So this is an old book. I think it was made in the 1990s. And each page features a sketch of the front of the home, and then underneath of it, there is the floor plan, as well as a little blurb about either that home or that era of homes like Queen Anne or Queen Victoria, and etc. So this particular design is one that I found in the book, and it actually reminds me of a lot of the homes in my neighborhood, which I've been wanting to build in the game. So I'm glad that I found this, and it kind of knocked off that desire, I guess, to build, a home from my neighborhood. But I will say about halfway through building this house, I started to feel very meh. I was looking at it and I'm thinking like, oh, I want to put a side room here or do this or do that. And I had this like moral dilemma if I should just completely like scrap this whole floor plan and just kind of build on my own, or if I should stick with it. And in the end, I choose to stick with it and to not add on and kind of change things and rearrange rooms, because I started this build with the intention of following the floor plan. And so that's what I continued doing. I don't love it, but I do like it a lot. And I also wanted to use the new vampire expansion pack because it comes with all of those cool wallpapers and the flooring and some really cool Victorian like objects, like the pictures and the statues and urns and stuff like that. So I wanted to play around with that a little bit as well. Yeah, so as far as what the floor plan looks like in the book and what it looks like in the game, I did a pretty decent job. I think there are a couple features that I might have messed up on, and honestly, I just don't have the time to go back and fix them. But for the most part, it looks pretty good. And I do like this floor plan. I would live in something like this. Obviously, I would decorate it much different. The interior, I really wanted to focus on using those Victorian details. And it might not be as Victorian as what other Victorian homes look like or would look like, but I guess when I'm doing interiors, I like to keep a few elements of me and of what I would like. So that's why not all of it is, I would say, 100% genuine Victorian. So yeah. Anyway, a little bit about the exterior. This is called a folk Victorian cottage. And so I was briefly researching the difference between a Victorian home and a folk Victorian home. And apparently, from what I've gathered, like I mentioned earlier, I'm no expert on this. I'm just kind of recapping what I've read. The folk Victorian is much simpler on the outside, and it's a much simpler floor plan anyways. It has the side paneling, and then it also has those white details and I don't know what they're called, the little white things on the porch, like that connect the pillars to the roof. I should know that. It seems like a very simple design or a build feature. But anyway, so that is common of the folk Victorian. Basically, it looks like a Victorian, but it's just a simpler version, something that I think the middle class was more able to afford. And so that's kind of how this came about. So yeah, the outside I like a lot. The white picket fencing is kind of weird. I didn't want it to encompass the whole yard, and so I did like these little side sections, and I'm not really sure if I don't know. It's not terribly practical, but it's okay. In the end, I end up putting just like a garden in one of them, and then the other one I kind of leave blank. So yeah, I don't know. But I like how the white fencing looks from the front view of the home, and so that's why I really wanted to include it, and also because it is in the sketch from the book as well. Otherwise, it's just a really simple backyard. I don't know why, but I didn't furnish this one, the patio or deck either. I don't know. I think I get to the end of building and I'm just kind of like done. And then I don't end up putting any furniture out there. I tried a little bit at the end of this, but I quickly was like, nope, that's not going to happen. So I just scrapped that idea and left it blank. Again, if you guys download this house, there is plenty of room for patio furniture to your liking. So I said this in the last video and I'll say it again. I don't think that leaving the deck and the patio empty takes away from the home. I guess maybe from your perspective, from someone who might download this from their perspective, it seems a little bit lacking, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't have an explanation for that besides I didn't do it. So anyway, moving on to a little bit about the interior. I really love the wallpaper that I used. I really love that flooring, the diagonal wood flooring. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And then the carpet that came with the expansion pack, I really love how that looks in the home with the wallpaper and all of that. So I'm really, really glad with how that turned out. I think it just gives the home that Victorian feeling and energy. So besides that, it's kind of just, I don't know, a typical interior. It looks older. It's definitely not modern by any means. I like the breakfast nook in the back. I will say that it is a little cramped in the home. And if I would have built it just a little bit bigger, just 3 squares bigger, I would have had much more room to do I don't know, something more breakfast nooky, if that makes sense. But I still like how it turned out. I still like the kitchen. I love how the kitchen is in the back of the home. And I love that little fireplace room. In the floor plan in the book, it's called a great room. And I'm not entirely sure what that means. So if you guys know what a great room is, specifically referring to this time period, this folk Victorian cottage type build, please let me know. I'm very curious about that. So I really like how that turned out, and I really like the living room. I guess I just really like all of it. I really like the first floor. Looking at the second floor, I am okay with it, but I'm not in love with it. I don't know. The master bedroom is pretty nice, but it's nothing that's super extravagant. I actually used some objects from, the Glamour expansion pack or game pack. Oh, I cannot think of what it's called. But it comes with all of those like glamorous items. I don't know. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head. But I felt like they matched the Victorian, that vibe pretty well. So I kind of mixed and matched some of those objects in there, which, it's a pretty good combo. So yeah, as far as my favorite pieces on the inside, I think like I was saying before, it would be that breakfast nook downstairs, as well as the flooring and the wallpaper. So that's kind of all I have today regarding this home. Let me know if you guys like this. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your questions or concerns. I'm definitely all ears. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will speak to you guys later. Bye.